Hey, I'm Sabrina from Get Your Rock Out, and I'm here with Steve Hackett at Stone Free 2016. How are you?
Very good, very good. Thank you.
That's good. So you're looking forward to performing your gig later?
Well, you know, the weird thing is, I think that you can rehearse all the music in the world, and the most important thing to remember is always to enjoy it. You think, oh, I haven't had a sound check, you know, will the guitar be in tune, is it all going to work? 1,001 things you can worry about, and it can be death of 1,000 cuts, or you can choose to enjoy it. So, excuse me, playing live, it can be absolutely wonderful, but you do have to connect with something other than what is going on. You know, you've got to imagine that you're a 3-year-old who's never heard music quite like it before, and try and get into the mindset of, you know, receiving something for the first time. It's a bit like when I was an 8-year-old watching the kids at school in the nativity play, who were probably 10 or 11. It seemed as if they sang perfectly in tune. And of course, when it was our year, we probably sang the same, and it all sounded out of tune to me. But isn't it all, you know, it's all about perception.
Yeah.
And do the angels take over? For others, they do. And, you know, when someone says, you know, it was, you know, out front they're going, oh, it was divine, it was heaven to watch, you know, and the band are all going, oh, I forgot this and that went wrong, and my monitor went down, and I broke a string, you know, and wasn't it hot, and I had a cough, and oh, you know.
Yeah, it's almost coming up with the excuses.
Heaven and hell, you know, the difference between being on stage and being off. So the main thing is that you enjoy it. That's the deal.
Have you ever found that when you're at a gig that you haven't been able to enjoy it, or not?
Oh, many times, yes,
Yeah.
yes. You know, when my pedal board fell over, or my amp wouldn't work and starts spluttering and all that. And oh God, I have a temper, and it really comes out then. I've been known to kick amplifiers over when it's like that. I just go absolutely rabid. But most of the time, I'm a very gentle soul, really.
Yeah. So when the gigs go well, do you still find that you sort of like nitpick as well, or do you just think, no, that was a good gig?
I don't nitpick. With Genesis were great nitpickers. Post Movem after every gig. No gig was ever enjoyed with Genesis. It was always, you might could have done better. And no, I don't have that. I come off and I think if it went well, the crowd enjoyed it, and the band did their best. I know that they're a team of professionals who do their best on the night, and the guys on sound and lights, you know, are the best I can find, and I know that they automatically all want to give it their best, so there's no point nitpicking. There's no point telling anyone that they screwed up in the 54th bar of such and such in the 9/8 or something. Yeah. They know. You know, they're self-correcting, and it's not about making a mistake, it's about continuing on.
Yeah.
When younger players tend to lacerate themselves for getting something wrong and lose it, whereas, you know, old pros tend to go, well, I made a bum note, perhaps no one noticed, I carry on, you know. It's like trying to function in the eye of the storm. It's like trying to steer, or trying to thread a needle in the middle of a thunderstorm, you know, raging all around you. Rock music, you really don't like that. And so there'll be times when tuning is going to go and timing is going to go, but, you know, you are wielding thunderclaps. I thought it was like that. The first time I ever saw a band playing incredibly loud, I thought, was my dad used to play football when he worked for Shell, and there was the Sydenham clubhouse, and they used to have dances. And I went along one day, and I was 16, and I remember there were a band that were just set up on the floor, and they were playing Shadows covers, and the place was pretty live, ringy, and it seemed incredibly loud. And my mother said to me, who was there, she said, God, Steve, wasn't it loud? I said, yeah, but wasn't it exciting? It was just,
Yeah.
how can guys control thunder like that?
Yeah.
How can that be done, Can you wield thunderbolts? Can you knit them together through the fog? Yeah, it's one of the big challenges for us all, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I do love it, and I do love applying myself to the very demanding medium that music is. You can't be too good for it. You try not to be too awful.
Yeah. So you mentioned Genesis earlier, that they used to be nitpickers.
Yeah.
Do you find that it's quite a different sort of mood and vibe when you're with them and when you're with your band now?
I think the net effect is very similar because we play much of the same material. I normally, not tonight because it's a shorter set, but normally in recent times I've been doing a set of solo stuff and then a set of Genesis things. So we're two bands in one, really.
Yeah.
And when this band does the Genesis stuff, we do it absolutely authentically, but probably a little better because there's more experience on that stage.
Yeah.
Technology is better.
Yeah.
Technique is better. Genesis was amazingly creative band. I mustn't be competitive because I think that Genesis played many times wonderfully live, but I find working with my guys, perhaps there aren't the pressures of Genesis. It's not like purveying that material first time round. What we're playing to people is albums that have been accepted, material that's proved itself. It's a weird business. I always feel as though I'm starting out. I never feel as though I've really ever proved myself. And of course, there is a danger that the faster you get, the more you fall back on technique and keep wanting to play faster and faster and prove it all the time. Whereas a gentle song will suffice. So with tonight, if we get to do the set that's the 45-minute one, then there'll be I do a little gentle acoustic thing with everyone singing harmonies.
Okay.
Just to there's no technique involved with that. It's just strumming, everyone strumming, and just singing and just the power of the song. No bluster.
Yeah. So do you tend to prefer a stripped back sound rather than sort of everything all together?
Well, no, I like it going off with all the bazookas and everything. I like the power of rock. The power of rock with a good sound. It can take the breath away when it's really right. I think acoustic music, you don't have the same orientation towards volume. There is no tyranny of volume. It has to be the lyrical nature of the music itself. Yes, I know Tchaikovsky had bombast with orchestras, with music that sounds like it's plenty of sword fights in there from Tchaikovsky.
Definitely.
But then, but there's the tunes, the beautiful tunes, and the work of Chopin, for instance, just gorgeous tunes for quiet piano, or even thunderous piano, wonderful, and I love the work of Grieg, the orchestral stuff.
That's what it seems to get sort of more experimental and that sort of time.
Yeah, it does. I think that he was stretching harmony just before it went atonal. When Eastern music was an effect on it, you get the aspect of there's always the Arabian Nights creeping in there. There's something exotic, with Grieg, and it's evocative work and absolutely modern, as is Chopin, absolutely modern. The Sex Pistols could do Chopin and it would sound absolutely modern.
Yeah. And so with your albums, you did Genesis Revisited and your most latest one, Wolflight.
Yes.
And I've been told that you've got a DVD being released next Friday.
It's a live in Liverpool show, yeah. Live in Liverpool, the odd special guests, Roy Stolt on bass and 12 string, and Variax, Amanda Lehman again on some vocals with us, Nad Sylvan with us again, and my brother on flute on one track, John Hackett. Yeah, and the nice thing about that DVD is all the extras, all these videos that I did in recent times, and befriending various filmmakers. So there's a lot more than just the show, and it's a very high standard. The stuff in there, some of it is feature film standard, you know, CGI and God knows what. You think, blimey, you know, wow.
Yeah.
I sometimes go, wow. You know, that's not just music. That's like, you know, that's like Hollywood. I mean, it's gorgeous stuff. Some of it, as I say, you know, I've been able to work with some guys who, you know, ought to be making waves over and above serving music.
Yeah, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I look forward to your show later on.
Thank you. Me too.
Oh.